also me just running into things that I've like never seen before,
Mm-hmm.
and or like I don't have an answer to because like it's like really different compared to like silver. From like jumped from silver to gold is like different.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That is
especially
like
against
a
like
that's a major transition. That's like yeah, like in gold, you're playing against people who a combination of like are decent at RTSs in general, but then also they're equipped with like the meta knowledge and the co-specific knowledge for the most part.
hmm, yeah. No, I was like doing fine. Like when I broke into gold, like I got a win against Stefan, and I got a win against Tightrope, and I got a couple of wins against all these like mid gold guys. And then I don't know if I started sucking because at the time I was like playing Tempest Rising as well, so I don't know if I just
Mm,
like got rusty within like 3 days or like
it's
everyone got good.
possible.
um, yeah, yeah, I've kind of been like on a on a uphill battle to get back into gold, which I did like an hour ago,
Mm-hmm.
finally. Um, but yeah, it's been an experience. Put it like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck. Uh, yeah.
So so you sent me, I think you did, sent me a bunch of replays. Yeah, yeah, okay, right. These are the ones with the good the good replay names. Is there one of these you wanted to look at first?
Uh, I can't even remember half of them. We'll go with the very first one. Coping.
Okay, get these out. Tunis. Co
Tunis,
Jabroni.
Tunis has been a bit of a map that I've like trying to figure out as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've kind of just been like I know like it's between the three buildings in mid.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean I don't know.
Yeah, let me push it to the channel here. Were you having any? You're not having any issues with the sound on the stream, right?
No.
I had someone else earlier today say that they couldn't hear the in-game sound when I was streaming it to Discord, and I was like, "What?"
Weird. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's working for me.
Okay.
So I've also like tried getting used to control groups, but I can only do it the early game at the minute, just
Mm.
between like 4 units.
Yep. That's. I mean, that's how you start. When things are simple, it's harder to carry the habit over when it's like a new habit. When things get
Yeah,
more complicated.
yeah.
And go start. I've been experimenting with a different opener recently that includes the dingo. Where I actually stick with the one sapper and then I go section dingo.
Right.
It gives you a little bit more power in the early game because the weird part about this opener is like you basically your dingo is the only thing that can push unless your sappers catch an isolated unit, which is pretty rare against Wehrmacht in the early game.
Yeah.
And sections can just fight anything that comes out in the first 4 minutes, so I like this. That's a great maneuver.
Awaiting orders. Light vehicle, eager to go. Ready as we'll ever be.
Nice.
Right, we're set to
Don't fall for reversing into the Gren. That's good.
tidy. Time for a brew?
Okay, what does he have?
A grenadier, a pioneer, and a Ken. He has no fuel.
Yeah, he
Um,
has this. Oh wait, is he just gonna? Oh, I thought he was gonna
Yeah.
lose it right there.
Tommy's has been trained.
Position snaffle. Got more for us? Fueled up and ready.
So now is the perfect, because you have secured both fuels. Planting a mine on either of these is huge, because one of two things is going to happen. Either he's going to hit it with the Ketten, in which case huge 360 manpower kill for you, or he's going to push into it with a Grenadier. And if you chop off and suppress two of these Grenadier models, like, your Sapper can win that engagement easy, right? So getting a nice, especially when you secure both fuels like this, getting a nice early mine on like the high traffic area of the point. So like it would be like here, like somewhere in this box, or on this side, maybe like here, because the Ketten's most of the time going to come down like this. Or you can plant it deeper, because most of the time, if players right click on a point, the Ketten is gonna, or whatever vehicle, whatever ultralight, is gonna drive all the way up to the pole, right? So sometimes if you plant it on like the outside of the circle, they'll miss it. But if you plant it deep, then they'll hit it anyways, because they're just gonna drive into it. But yeah, when you secure both fuels like this, dude, plant a mine. It just like, it'll get you the extra
Contact with the enemy.
the extra time with those.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to play. Okay, that works too. I was gonna say we could play it defensively with the Sapper, like even just like parking back here or here. You just want to buy as much time holding this point as possible, right?
Yeah.
I think you could have created enough space to pull your Sapper away without having to full retreat, but this is okay. This isn't that bad.
A capture point is being overrun.
That's very cheeky.
Enemy infantry. They've spotted us.
Supplies aren't making it back to HQ. Lines cut. Infantry section trained and ready.
Fight down, you wankers.
Cool. Yeah, that's fine. Take
The
that
enemy
back.
have taken our territory.
Who's reporting?
Repairs and heals, maybe? Yeah.
I think we're up, lads.
Beautiful.
Contact with the bloody enemy. Construction of the platoon command post. Good as new. Attention.
Nice. Good. This is fine.
Eager expeditions on. Spark up while it's time. Nothing about.
Did you go tier 2 already? You did, okay. I'm going for that super fast Humber.
Sir, a group of ruffians have reported for orders.
And I feel like I sometimes get into this situation where I'm like lacking fuel to get that early on, so I usually just get a third section and then tag.
Yep. No, I think you made the right choice considering you started with both fuels. Actually, if you had stuck around with your Sapper instead of retreating early on, you would have had your Humber building right now. You could have had it out by like 5:15, which is insane timing. Oh, not even. You could have had it out by 5 minutes, which would have been bananas. It's like fastest Humber of life.
Like that fast Webble.
Yeah. Dude, that was crazy. It was like 7.5 minutes. It was insane.
It was so quick. Because the rapid production puts it down to 11-second fucking so fast.
Bingo! In combat! Over the wall!
Nice.
Bingo under enemy fire! Reinvestment! Stand down firing! At east! Standing by! Commander!
Yep. Love that.
Humber armored car ready for reconnaissance.
Grenade! Move your asses! Ziggy's there! It's captured!
Canadian shock infantry been assigned
Yeah,
to our
there we
sector.
go.
We're losing a victory point.
Uh-oh. We're a little too far. I think... Oh, I think this is actually just big brain, though. Oh, it could have been. Okay.
A victory point is being overrun.
Lol.
Sector lost. Victory point is in enemy hands.
Where are we going? Okay.
Dingo recon vehicle has been destroyed.
Okay. So when you saw him move, so you saw his 221, you saw his first grenadier, then you saw his second grenadier and his MG here, right? That is your cue to be like, okay, there's no danger in losing this position at this point. What you want to do is start to, because you did it with the Humber, you want to collapse on the retreat path. Because best case scenario, especially with the machine gun, best case scenario, if your section's here, first of all, guaranteed 100% you wipe this. And secondly, you actually have something nearby that you can scoop the MG up and bring it back to base with.
Right.
If you don't have the flamer, prioritizing holding this building makes sense. But since you have the flamer, you can always come in and flush him out later, right? So it's not worth keeping your guy static here for so long when you have an opportunity to collapse on his retreat path.
We have Canadian veterans baying for blood here, Commander.
Yeah, he's made the right choice too. Do we have heals up? Yep, hell yeah.
We've lost a sector to the enemy.
This guy's cooked! Oh my gosh, he's got 5 units left.
Incendiary rollout
Barely.
underway.
Got a little sleepy with this section, but that's okay.
We're ready. Out! Grab your gear! What's it to you?
Incoming. You remember the drill.
Good.
Quit ass grabbing and listen up.
Sector overrun. The enemy has it.
So, I talked about this a little bit in my advanced infantry video recently. So what you want to do is you are coming down here to push off this unit, right? And you know that there's nothing really to threaten your Humber when it shows up. So what you actually want to do is look for opportunities to pick off your opponent's units, right? And knowing that his Grenadier is going to have to retreat from your Humber at some point, it's actually better for you to wait a little bit because your fuel income is fine. You've got this one, you're about to connect it via this territory point. Waiting the extra few seconds for your Canadian, rather than beelining it to the fuel point, you have your section from base that can do that. Sending your Canadian to the cutoff retreat path so that you can go for the bundle nade on this squad as it retreats while being chased by the Humber. You're almost like guaranteed to secure the kill once you've practiced those grenades a couple times. But like they're not incredibly difficult to land. Like basically if an opponent is retreating and your unit is like here, by the time they hit this point, you wanna throw it about like this distance, like almost the whole engagement range that you would normally have to deal with. So think about like 3 seconds of lead time, right? If you haven't practiced throwing retreat grenades, you should just do it, because as soon as you get a grasp on them, they pay off like crazy. And like I said, between a bundle grenade and your Humber chasing this Grenadier, there's nothing that's going to stop this thing from... There's nothing that's going to keep this thing alive.
Right.
So by waiting the extra few seconds with your Humber before pushing in for your Canadian to get into position, Now you're in a much better position to have the same effect. Yeah, he scores an extra, like, what? Like 3 fuel from holding it for a few seconds longer. But you're wiping a unit, which is way more impactful. Right?
Right. Okay, yeah.
Royal Engineers here.
What is this dude doing?
That's what I'm trying to figure out too, man.
There we go, Jaeger. Just a little late. AT gun's fine, although I will say, oh yeah, there we go. Cool. Nice. Ah. The MP40's killed you. That's a bummer. Not the end of the world.
Anti-tank crews are on standby for orders.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
Sweepers are a job for us. I'll do it now in a minute.
Jerry has 300 points remaining.
In contact! Call up support!
We're losing a victory point to enemy action.
Laid and covered. They won't suspect. What's the task?
The beggars are threatening a victory point.
Canadian shark troops ready.
Victory point under enemy control.
Out now. Assemble outside.
Humber armored car fueled up.
Fire, yeah?
This is a bit risky at this point.
The enemy has claimed a sector.
I don't think that's a parliament, though. So,
Quiet down and listen.
um,
Enemy troopers!
Get in anti. Give us orders.
Yeah, so tell me about this.
so because he's had like no fuel income mostly. Especially because when he caps my point in the east, I think it's the east, one of the two. He was cut off, so he wasn't like getting any fuel income. So
Yeah.
and then because he went into Jaeger, I knew that he wasn't gonna have a wearable anytime soon. So felt like the Humber was fine. I probably would have gone into Stewart if I knew he was gonna commit to like a Tech 2 and it's just not. Yeah, the Tech 2 commit instead of the two just going to 2.5. So
Yeah.
that's just how I felt about it.
Okay.
At the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I'm with you in the latter half of that. I think the second Humber is like okay generally if you lose it super early and or you just want to double down and go 2 Humbers, like if you're playing Australians with over repair, then the 2 Humber can be good. I think the safer option is probably to go for the Stuart if you want to keep a light vehicle through the mid game, which you probably do want against a tier 2.5 composition, especially on such a big open map like this, because without vehicle pressure on this map, like it's so annoying to have to move back and forth between these 2 positions. They're so far apart, and hold down the middle all at the same time. So I think the Humber is like the second Humber this late is a little risky. I think a Stuart would be better because then at the very worst case scenario, when the Werble comes out, which it's inevitably going to, like it's so rare. I can't think of the last time I saw a player skip tier 2.5 if they're going for tier 2. I see some like tier 3 to tier 4 play, but rarely do I see like a tier 2.5 skip. So you pretty much always want to be playing for that, and the Stuart is just a much safer option because the extra health and the armor against the Werble main gun.
100%, yeah.
We got orders, lads.
forgot about this guy
Petrochemicals
over
are being
here.
integrated across all flame
Yeah, no,
weapons.
this is... So, like, all these games were, like, my first couple of days coming back, so I'm gonna look like a potato.
They still have 250 points left.
That's enough.
We're losing a victory point to enemy action.
Nice. Good bind.
I don't remember none of that.
Good nade. Yeah, good. Put that away there. Yeah.
Orders. Jump to it, lads.
Grenade packages are in.
Now, you know you can kill the decrewed weapon with the 6-pounder, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Always eager to serve.
A victory point is being
Grenade
overrun.
package, cool.
Territory sector lost, Commander.
Rifle section ready.
Victory point belongs to the enemy.
Take the building here. So the rooftops give the height bonus. So your accuracy is higher against units, especially units that are in the open. It's just more DPS. That's part of the reason why the buildings are so good on this map.
Okay.
Nice. Keep poking away at him here. Okay, there we go.
The beggars are threatening a victory point. The enemy has our victory point now.
Eager as will ever be. Jerry's attacking us! Where'd they come from?
We're losing a fuel point.
Okay. Oh, one sec.
You good?
Sorry, maniacs outside. Okay. Looking at the mini map, what should we be doing right now, based on what we can see?
Want to be trying to secure the kill on the Jaeger, I'd say, and get
Yeah.
the fuel.
Yeah. Which means we need to bring our Humber, right?
Right.
Let's see if we recognize. Oh. Have you played it all with offensive resupply?
No. No, not a single game. I just, I would play with it more if I didn't heal in combat. I just feel like the healing in combat does so much more, like, during the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I can get why people like to use, the offensive resupply. I don't dislike it, I just prefer the heal more.
We're losing a fuel point to enemy action.
You hear that sound?
Jerry's got it in for us!
The enemy is down to
I
200 points.
Still playing
Carry
with
on.
music. I knew it was coming though.
Yeah.
Just from the distraction.
A fuel point is being overrun.
Another thing too that's been like a common trend, which like much later, is like going into Tech 4 and then they're already like prepared for it, so it feels bad to go into it.
Yep.
This is
This is unfortunate.
yeah.
We've lost them. Humber armored car has been knocked out. Section CP is taking damage.
Company command post is finished.
Okay. Yeah, this is a pivotal moment. This is basically If you're gonna lose the game, I don't know if you do, but if you did, it's right here. I think like when you're in, especially when you've got an engine damage Humber, I'm assuming that the reason you didn't repair it with the sappers was because you're like, I'm just gonna refit it anyway when my tier 4 is done. In that case, like just tuck it all the way back, so that you don't run into situations where you're getting caught by the Werble that's diving your base. And then when it came to your AT gun was actually in a good position, but unfortunately it was actually sight blocked by your own section command post. So when he came in, there was nothing really to scare him away. I promise you that if he had been hit by the AT gun here, he wouldn't have driven in because he would have been too scared. But unfortunately, because the AT gun was facing like this, and the arc was actually, like, it was encompassing where it was, but he was blocked because of the section command post, he saw fit to just dive anyways.
Right.
And then, yeah, unfortunately, this is a pretty dramatic snowballing effect because this impacts our refit capability to get to our Crusader. I like that grenade. Boop. What, do we get it? What is that health?
Command points should be allotted, Commander.
Orders complete.
Veterans of Dieppe are reporting for duty.
So this is one of few maps I wouldn't recommend going for the second Canadian on because it's really difficult. The maps that you can go to Canadians on are the ones with like lots of sight blockers or buildings or like other things that are just more difficult to navigate with AT guns. On a map as open as Tunis, the second AT gun is the better choice because obviously the range difference between the two. You have the one Canadian to prevent the dive, but the way that you're going to pressure the Werble off of your troops is with the second AT gun. Because otherwise you're just going to end up bleeding and chasing the Werble with your second Canadian. It's going to cost you a lot in manpower over the course of the game. But on maps like Pacino or Angleville or even Taranto Coastline is pretty good because there's lots of bushes in the middle that you can kind of hide behind. But this doesn't have any of that. It's also open, right?
Would you apply that logic to like a guard section as well, yeah? Or...
Yeah. General, yeah. Guards, I also feel like is kind of dependent on like your opponent's composition. If they're playing with like PGs and stuff, guards are a little bit better to have because they can handle the PGs if they try to get close. But against Jaegers, guards can be a pain because the Jaegers will just kite you from max range.
Yeah, that's fine.
Victory point is in enemy hands.
The train is happening.
That is... Yeah, no, since... should have just been Stuart here, I would have been like really comfortable. Like I would have had a later Tech 4, sure, but...
You could have refitted though. That's the thing.
True.
You're only paying, like, as long as you keep the Steward alive, you're only paying for the tech, right?
Yeah.
Because you get the other part back.
I double up on the Stuart. I go double Stuart and I tried a game with double Stuart and yeah, no, it's definitely a lot better than the double Humbo. For the most part.
Victory point lost. The enemy has control.
I also keep forgetting that the 2-pounder on the Crusader struggles to pen. I keep thinking
yeah.
Crusader cruiser finished.
Wait, okay.
Need a tank? What, you can't find anyone?
Patch yourselves up. We're not out of this yet. We're losing a fuel point. Command points need to be assigned.
Right, machine gun targeting us! Watch your eyes! Enemy fire!
Oh, I can't believe I didn't commit to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the fact that, like, you kind of like threw away the shock of the Crusader just appearing right in front of his Warble.
Yeah,
You're already that deep. You may as well just commit to chasing him, right, and just getting in his face. Because if you're in his face, you're gonna penetrate the front. The only time you're not going to is if he's keeping you at max range, right? And the only thing keeping you at max range is your own micro here. I mean, even if he backs away and then the other one shows up, like, you're borderline behind this one already. So it should be pretty easy for you to come swing around and get behind this one and kill it instead.
And
Because remember, the only thing that's really scary for you is when these two are together, right?
Yeah.
Because this will hit you, and then this you'll get snared, and then you won't be able to get away. But if it's just the Shreks, you can micro around them, right? Like, there's nothing keeping you in their range. You should be able to get out in between shots.
yeah, 100%. I think I saw the retreating Jaeger, and I was like, well, shit. I'm just gonna have to back up. But if I could do that again, I'd dive up.
Yeah.
See, that's what.
The Jaeger is retreating, right? So he actually has to go back to base and then come back out before he's any issue to you.
100%. Oh my god.
Churchill's tanks with flame projectors are available
Can't
to
believe
blast
it.
the enemy.
Still shaky with team weapons, and but I'm trying to field them more.
Yeah. Good, that's good. I mean, you need to, really. Like, they're
Yeah.
a critical part of the game.
The beggars are threatening a victory point.
Boys, finished. Listen up. Order.
Victory point belongs to the enemy.
Okay.
Taking blasted blows!
We're losing a munitions point to
Yeah,
enemy
I
action.
was gonna say he's got to get out of there. This is good.
Get to cover, you fuck.
We're off to go to you!
Well, it be, sir. Fight or die, man. Hey. Cover his position. Get to cover, you fuck.
Territory lost.
Good retreat.
Orders complete.
A little afraid, or
Anti-tank weapon and crew.
a little afraid we've overinvested in AT here.
This is how it's
The
done.
thing is, at the time, I don't really see like a need to double up on dealing with the infantry. So since the game was gonna go a bit further, I feel like getting the Piats and getting the 18 is gonna like scale better than having a bunch of anti-infantry, I guess.
Victory point. Victory point under enemy control.
One of my emblem, a mortar rather.
Okay. I'm sensing a little bit of fatigue here. We did see the machine gun right here just now, and we're pushing back into it with the Canadian and the rest of his tactical force concentration that he's got around his flak 30. I think like backing up to take a breath and recoup some manpower and get your second Crusader out is what you want to be going for here. If that means him pushing down the middle a little bit, I actually think that's fine because that's going to make it easier for you to potentially pick off an overextended Werble and or envelop him because he's going to push beyond this building most likely. Because what's going to happen now is we're taking a whole bunch of bleed and it's delaying our next tank. Oh, we're going to lose that section.
Jerry got one of our squads.
Yeah, rough. I think this is like at the time where I'm starting to like mold a little bit. Obviously yo-hoing.
I'm sensing that. I don't know why, but I'm sensing that a little bit.
Company CP is taking damage.
Pray we don't hit a mine.
Yeah,
Okay.
never.
Never.
Taking fire. That HMG's firing on us. No!
See where you.
Yeah, I see where this is
How
going.
this is going.
Churchill Crocodile is ready to wreak havoc.
Hmm.
You have command points available. Obscuring smoke bombardment.
Up until this point, too, I had no idea what his battle group was. So
Damnation. The sector's in enemy hands. Report. One of our anti-tank.
Yeah, my rule of thumb is if I don't see any battle group units, then it's probably breakthrough.
okay.
A strategic
Fair.
point is being overrun.
I mean, I've been like so used to playing against Terra and fucking.
Yeah, Terror you know, right? Because you got the camo MGs. Oh my god. Okay, this could be delicious. Let's see if we can do it.
I don't think I do it, so don't get your hopes up.
Did we try?
No. That was definitely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
If there is any unit to try this with, it's this. Like between the incendiary effect and the massive blast radius, it's worth practicing for sure. It will make the difference
100%.
in your games
yeah.
as you move up the ladder.
It's just it's not something I've done. I'd love to like pick it up along with everything else I'm trying to pick
Point
up.
is being overrun.
Okay,
I
with
mean,
sorry, you're saying?
I'm just it's nothing but like,
Enemy has control. Smoke operation on standby. Issue as needed.
With this composition, we are currently cooked.
A-15 Crusader is on station and ready for orders.
I just
He uses the shock of the Tiger.
Just lost an anti-tank gun.
This is a good response, though, using the smoke op.
We're losing a munitions
Yeah.
point. Last man up to bat. They're down to only 50 points.
I was just thinking I could stall for time with the croc.
Yeah, maybe.
We're losing a victory
Oh.
point.
It
The enemy
backfires.
has our victory point now.
Especially because I don't pick up the AT guns
Smoke
either.
operation on standby. Issue
I
as
do.
needed.
Never mind.
Rip.
The boss holds all victory points. Act now.
Yeah.
Section command post is under fire.
Okay. You had that. You had that.
We're down to 200 points.
Yeah. I lose too much too quickly. It's like a massive trend at the minute.
Smoke operation on standby. Issue as needed. Crusader. A Churchill Crocodile variant.
I'm also like
awaits
mid curve here as well, so I'm like,
We have 100 points left.
I really think that you should experiment with offensive resupply.
okay.
Between, like,
Crusader tank knocked out.
you almost. Yeah, that's funny. You almost killed it too. Like, I actually think you could have killed it. Yeah, I don't like the croc for the reason that you saw there, because based on the timing, like when it comes out, you're usually having to deal with Panthers or the Tiger or the KT or whatever.
Yeah.
Which sucks, like when you're trying to field the croc.
Well, at the time, it seemed fine because all he had for AT was Jaeger Fausts.
Yeah, but it lacks mobility, right? Like you. So I think what the Croc needs is better area of effect damage, because right now it really only does damage to units that are in the line that it fires the flamer. So if he's got 3 Jaegers that are kind of in an array in front of you, you can only hit one at a time, which sucks.
Yeah.
While you're gonna chew through that one, like by having 2 of them, or by having 2 more, like it's just not gonna deal enough impact to justify the cost and the investment in that vehicle. And that's why like we want the Crusaders, because we have more mobility, right? We have more field presence with the Crusaders.
I get what you mean, but the thing is, like, it's like all too similar of a situation where I have the Crusader, but I can't really like find damage with it because he he has like a lot of AT presence, so I kind of like I don't know how to put it. I don't really know how to use a Crusader in that situation.
So you until you get comfortable with just kiting using Crusade, because Crusaders outrange the handheld AT, so you can just poke away at them as long as you know where they are. And if you're struggling with knowing where they are, getting a second recce is the easiest way to manage that. And you kind of just poke away at them until they decide to retreat, because they can't pursue you forever. They're slower than you are, and they have less range. So eventually they'll have to like fold and retreat.
Okay.
In situation where that's like kind of hard to do, you can start with 1 Matilda as your frontliner, and then just keep your Crusaders behind it, so that when he inevitably retreats from the Matilda, you actually have something to collapse on him with.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody else about that actually earlier today.
I think did I send you the same game 3 times?
I don't know. This one
Did I
is
just-
called MG. Is it the same one? It looks like it.
Royal
It's the
Engineers
Yeah, this one is the
follow
same.
you.
I sent.
So you sent me 2 of the same one.
Interesting. Yeah, no. So the MG one is this dude makes 5 MGs in a row. I saved it 4 times. What?
Okay,
What
so
was I on?
another one.
Yeah, I'll have to find. I'll have to find it at some point. I think the Great Wall is definitely different. Yeah, it is.
Okay, we can look at this one. Great Wall.
Yeah, the Great Wall.
Master Steph.
You know him?
Mm-hmm. He's
I
a
actually
good
have-
player. He's like a rank. What the hell rank is he? Oh, he's 132 on Vermont, but he's like pretty high on some of the other factions. He's like under rank 50.
Section CP right there.
On some of the
I've
other
played him a
ones.
couple of times. Like they haven't been like they've been pretty close. And also, this is the first time I've played play against Coastal.
Mm-hmm.
And so like
It's done, Commander. Section command.
there's
open
definitely a
for
lot of
business.
brain fighting and poor execution.
Royal Engineers, yeah?
Come.
It just feels so like the coastal the coastal guards. Do they like outperform cover to cover against sections?
They
'Cause
are-
It feels like they do.
Yeah, so they are better than Grenadiers, cover to cover. But sections will outscale them. The best option against coastals when you're playing with sections is the Bren gun, because most of the time they're going to fight from cover, and if they move, they're terrible. They're awful on the move, like the worst unit in the game on the move. So if you can force them to move, then you're in good shape. But if you're just fighting them while they're in cover, it's like, yeah, it's much more difficult. Small thing about your sapper here, actually I think this is okay in the early game. Never mind, forget I said anything. That's fine.
We're under fire. What cover you got?
Oh, that's very
They
cheeky.
sandbagged it. Yeah. I was like, it's gonna be on the.
Sorry, got the second squad there.
You know, it's because you can skip infantry company to just double coastal guard.
Well, he
instead.
went. Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, he doesn't need it. He skipped it completely for now.
So it feels like, especially in that cover to cover situation, it just feels so. I don't know what the word
Yeah.
is. It's just difficult, I guess.
Territory sector lost, Commander.
No, you're right. It is. This is actually part of the reason I started experimenting with the section start instead of a second sapper.
Section of Tommies has been trained.
Yeah, 100%.
So something you can do to help you with this, by the way, I know you probably haven't seen much of this, but like one of the old tricks of Company of Heroes is like pushing with a vehicle.
Pushing.
So
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that when I say that?
Yeah. A lot of like Axis players like to push with their Kettons against
Yeah,
you.
yeah, exactly. So doing that here with your dink, because these are no threat to you, especially while he doesn't have infantry company, but even more so because he's probably just going to try to fast track to tier 2, which means he's got no snares for a long time. So that gives you the freedom. And if you can actually push him out of cover, because how these guys work is they get their combat bonus when they're in cover. See how they get extra accuracy and rate of fire? So if you can use the dingo to push them around so they're not in cover while your sappers are closing the gap, it's going to allow you to fight them a lot better. And also by pushing them, you're actually making them move, which is killing their accuracy. So it's one of few units that you want to do this kind of crap with, but it's worth it. Even though you're losing a little bit of DPS from like not just shooting at them directly with the dingo, it's worth it to just fumble with their positioning and get them out of the cover.
Okay. Dingoes can't roll over sandbags, can they?
No, they can't drive through sandbags or wire.
Yeah.
That's not a good push. That's okay though. This is a good push. Good cut-off maneuver. Good flank with the sapper. Nice. You do have that though. He's been very cheeky with his Ket and Crad in the meantime.
Territory.
Get another section here.
Sir, a group of ruffians have
No
reported
idea.
for orders. They say they're Canadian.
Oh, I'm assuming you're gonna get these.
Veterans of Kiev are
okay,
reporting for duty.
I feel like a mortar or something would have been better, to be honest. So I don't know. I've been trying to use these Canadians a lot, but like when it comes to like this kind of like ELO, people like don't eat handheld AD in the sections. Just feel like they get chewed up before they can get into like their optimal distance. I'm not really like liking them.
Yeah.
Like, they're good and they're tanky and they have the down bomb, but it can feel some rough sometimes.
I think the issue with them a lot of the time is the higher veterancy requirements, and they don't really spike until they hit Vet 2. Before that, they're like super expensive to reinforce. And like you said, it's kind of hard to get them to the optimal range. Optimal range for them is like 25 and closer. So it's like if like this is maximum engagement range, it's like about a third of the way. But yeah, it is kind of hard to use them super effective, especially against coastals, because they just want to kite you and engage you at max range from cover. Oh, he's putting bunkers down. Oh no.
I had no idea.
It's
either.
all falling apart.
Yeah. I don't know, it's just like when I saw the bunk, I was like, I was starting to like cope a little bit.
Yeah. I think this is where the rigidity of being locked into attacking spirit is hurting you. Because if you had gone for offensive resupply here, you could just pop 3 recce's on all your sections and continuously hit his defensive positions with the free artillery, as well as the incendiary rifle grenades, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, good. We're killing the bunker. Nice. Oh, we went PG. Interesting.
I feel, yeah, no. I like that from him, anyways, because I don't feel like Jaegers would do much in the terms of just like
We're losing a munitions
existing, I
point
guess.
to enemy action.
Yeah, especially because he's gone for support bunkers
Victory
here.
point belongs to the enemy.
Because he's gonna be able to get those AT bunkers later on. And,
Yeah, this is like-
there we go. That's a good rifle name. Nice. Yep. Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, that was so close. Oh.
Didn't realize he was in range. Yeah, so I don't realize until like much later that he's like starting to stack bunkers,
Mm.
and it gets like super urged. I'm like, what the fuck do I do?
Experimental petrochemicals are being integrated.
It's one of the rare circumstances that you can go bishop.
Yeah,
There's not too many where you'd want to do it, but also, like I mentioned, the if you went for offensive resupply here, you could just hit these things non-stop on cooldown with your Wrecking Barrage.
yeah, 100%.
Good rifle nade.
We have territories exposed out there. Lines being cut.
I should see the bunker. I don't know if I was the. Oh yeah, that's what I was chipping away with the 6-pounder.
Taken
Yeah.
our territory.
But God, it's so nice, dude.
Munitions income is very good.
Yeah, just trying to see. I've noticed that I can't blob. I feel like blobbing's just such a pain.
Jerry got one of our squads.
But
We're losing a victory point to enemy
every
action.
time I try to blob, it sucks, and then every time
Victory
someone
point.
blobs against
The
me,
enemy has control.
You're an
Yeah, it's like-
inexperienced blobber.
We're losing a victory
I
point.
don't like it. I prefer being wide and having more map coverage.
Yeah,
presence
I'm the
coverage.
same way.
But I know why people do it. It's just
Yeah, it's easier. It's easier to control. Nice, that's good. Oh, you did go for a Bren section. We lost our other one.
Canadian shock infantry
Crusader is
have been assigned to
out.
our sector.
yeah. And by this point, he's built up like a couple of bunkers here.
Mhm.
So it doesn't look better. Yeah.
T-bunker.
He doesn't designate defensive at the very least, so it's not that bad. But
Ammunition. The beggars are threatening a victory point. Canadian shock infantry are in reserve.
honestly, I would have preferred going the 3-inch here too. For the Canadians. He hasn't shed no vehicles yet, so I'm just like autopilot.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, I mean, generally that's why I like to go for my AT weapons reactively instead of proactively.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you end up in these situations where you just build it, and your opponent's like, okay, I'm just not going to build that. And then it turns out to be wasted. I'm not a huge fan of the 3-inch, or the 2-inch, I should say, anyways, because it's expensive. Because you have to buy it, and then you have to pay for every use of it, too.
That's fine. I'm just thinking like in this situation because he's bunkering up, it's not too bad, but I generally don't like to go for it.
The enemy has our victory
Okay.
point now.
Oh, bummer.
The enemy has claimed the sector.
Okay. I think here, like, Oh, he's got this machine gun bunker. Oh my god, what a pain. I was just gonna say, get on top of the AT gun with the Crusader, because he's not gonna be able to retaliate to you. If he tries to set up, you're just gonna be able to very easily maneuver out. And you haven't taken any damage yet. Like, he doesn't have any AT outside of this one pack and the bunker that he planted over here. So if you get on top of him, then you're gonna be able to clear it and then kind of guard it with the Crusader until your troops can come up and either have it destroyed, or best case scenario, like maybe steal it.
I think he has an AT bunker behind that. If not, he makes it later.
It doesn't look... I mean, you didn't take any hits in here, which is kind of what led me to believe that it was safe for you to get on top of it. But, yeah, I understand if that's what you're afraid of.
It's the grenades from the castle guys too. I'm just like, I don't know. I've been like really scared of snares.
Mm-hmm.
We're losing
Yeah,
a
just a
victory
lot of
point.
hesitance.
Yeah, we're short on repairs now.
Yeah, I lost my demo section. It's really
Victory
rough.
point under enemy control. Royal Engineers trained and ready to go.
Sapper sector.
That's just like so you'll see later that he's like really doubling up on bunkers. And I didn't really want to tech into Bishop because I was only T4. Would it just be fine going 17 pound and just poking him out, or would you just back tech into Bishop?
Back tech into Bishop is okay, even at this point, because he, like, how much offensive power does he have, really? Like,
He has a little bit. He has the PG, he has the Stos.
right. These are vehicles, right?
Yeah, no vehicles.
So there's really nothing that's going to threaten a Bishop, which means we're just going to be able to continuously damage him, right, over and over and over again. Knowing that that's the case, I think, like, I mean, first, we shouldn't lose this. We should definitely not lose this. So, like, having a sapper sitting over here, or no, you don't have, I guess you're down like a unit because you lost your section. Having a sapper over here with a couple of mines so that you're not getting in a situation where you're ending up getting your VPs drained because he's holding you here, and then he just kind of like zips over here with his Ketten and captures it every once in a while. But yeah, I think the Bishop is a good choice. The demo engineers are actually also a great choice here, because so you could have actually skipped, instead of building this new section or this new sapper from your base, you could have sat and waited for the demolition engineering, because it's only another 10 manpower, and these guys come equipped with flamethrowers already and the damage reduction. And because you have pyrotechnics, it's going to give you the accuracy reduction from the flamethrower. That's going to allow you to trade really effectively, especially into the coastals, because they want to fight from cover, right? And the flamethrower is just better against cover. And I bet you, like, between if you do some repairs on your Matilda and then you escort the demo engineers in through to these MG bunkers, as long as you could use smoke operation and smoke them out, and then you can just come and flush everything out with the flamer sappers and your tanks.
Right. Okay.
That would have saved you a little bit of, because now, like, we're kind of in this annoying situation where we've lost some tempo because we had to build the sapper back to get some repairs on our tank, and we have enough fuel for another tank, but now we have to wait longer. So it's like, if we had just waited another half a minute to just call in the 2 demo engineers, then we would have we'd have the flamers, we'd have the damage resistance, and then we could make one big concerted push into the middle using smoke op to flush all these stupid bunkers out.
Okay.
Just gonna say, let's go take care of our
Our anti-tank
Antigua.
gun crew has been killed. We have 300 points remaining.
What would you change about the comp, if anything? Right now.
Your comp?
Yeah.
I mean, like I talked about, instead of building the sapper, I'd get the second demo engineer. These are actually, like, this composition is pretty okay. The Matilda's an okay choice considering he's gone for the, the bunkers. A lot of people forget that when your opponent goes for this style of play where they have like maybe one AT gun and they're building like AT bunkers, this side is wide open. So you can go, like, if you skipped on the Matilda and decided to go for another 2 Crusaders or something, you can go and start poking his base and tearing down his tech structures and all this shit, just to draw him away from his bunkers and create an opening for you to go in.
I think he has bunkers over there.
I don't.
Or at least he makes them later.
Yeah,
No,
it looks
like,
pretty open right now. And that's kind of like, that's part of playing against this battle group, is like probing where there is a weakness so that you can exploit it. Because again, this force, there's nothing mobile about this force. He's got no vehicles. His coastals are terrible on the move. The only thing that he's got that are really threatening on the move is the PGs and the Stas, and those are no threat to our tanks, right? And this is also part of the reason the Bishop is a fine investment here, because again, if you're playing against coastals, the scariest 2 vehicles that you have to deal with are the Panzer IV and the Brumbar. Neither of which are really that scary for UK, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of opens up your options in terms of how you can instead invest your fuel. And this is one of the rare situations where it's like, if you're gonna fight him head on, a Bishop is fine, but there's lots of workarounds for dealing with coastals that are in this battle group anyways, but like we just talked about, between demolition engineering, smoke operation, use of the flamethrowers and your tanks kind of combined together. It's really difficult for him to use all of his stuff if you drop smoke op on all of his buildings and his team weapons, right? Like, it becomes an impossible micro task, and he pretty much has no choice but to back away.
Okay.
Feels bad.
The enemy is trying to take Crusader tanks knocked out.
Then it's fixed.
We're ready.
Damnation! The sectors, the Bosch are pushing hard. We're down to 250 points. Smoke operation live. Batteries primed. The beggars are threatening a munitions point.
We use smoke op here, but it feels kind of reactive.
It was wasted, 100%.
Yeah.
It was like a panic click. I was like, I have the munitions. I'm just gonna smoke him and try and fake him out. But it was like no follow-up, so yeah, 100%.
Right.
I'm kind of like, at this point, I'm just like, well, fuck. It's kind of like, what do I do? I actually refit the Matilda thinking I had clock, but I don't. So,
Oh no, yeah, okay, I see.
so I was like, well, what the fuck? I'm just gonna Crusader it. Fuck it.
Nice. This is why I like offensive resupply so much more recently. Like there, you could have got that 2-inch off for free, and then you could get another proc here, which is going to save you munitions, and you can just throw the bundled grenade at this for free. I found, dude, like, you just play the game differently when you go for offensive resupply, because as soon as you get the proc, you're just looking for an opportunity to, like, rifle grenade something. Because it's free. Like, why not, right? And it does so much damage. Like, worst case scenario, I force my opponent out of a cover position, and then they can't go back there for a little bit because of the flames. That's like the worst case scenario, right?
Right.
And especially against Coastal, like, I think I was saying this earlier to another player. If you're playing against heavy team weapon or like static composition, offensive resupply is probably the better choice. Attacking spirit makes more sense if you're playing against like a lot of chip damage or like highly mobile forces, like maybe, you know, playing against Dak, like attacking spirit makes more sense generally speaking. Especially against like those Bersaglieri, for example, because you're having to fight them over and over and over again because they have so much field presence. But you're playing against like a team weapon heavy composition, or especially in this case coastals. Like offensive resupply is just going to give you so much more value over the course of a longer game.
Right. Okay. Do you know if like your stuff's on cooldown, you get resupplied? Does it reset the cooldown or?
No, it doesn't reset the cooldown, but you can use everything. So you can use your Art Recce Barrage, you can throw a snare, and you can throw a rifle grenade, and they're all free. Big rifle nade? No. Okay, now we're kind of... Yeah, I can see now we're starting to probe. There's the pack. Nice rifle grenade. Fortunately, he's got the bunker nearby there. Yeah, see, the Matilda would actually kind of be nice here because you could spearhead with the Matilda, identify where the pack is, and then get around it with your other tanks, right? While the Matilda's like basically taking the damage. Because if you kill this pack, you know he's got no mobile anti-tank anymore, right? And that's going to open up all kinds of opportunities for you once you kind of figure out how his bunkers are laid out. But man, yeah, he's starting to lace these up really good. Yeah, and this is the situation where I definitely feel like back-teching into bishops makes sense at this point.
Right. Okay.
Upgrades on its way, isn't it? Sappers receiving orders. Ready. Royal Engineers ready. Then it's fixed.
Uh-oh. That's unfortunate.
Victory point is being overrun.
100%.
Is he gonna steal that?
Victory point is in enemy hands.
No.
Commander, territory is being threatened. Our opponent is in control of all victory points.
Okay. Now we're cluing in. That's good.
We've 100 points left.
It is a bit late, unfortunately.
Vector is in enemy control.
Ooh.
We've got 75 points remaining.
Yeah, I get frustrated doing it too.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What is this dumb fucking garbage? Just yeah, like I said, it's something I don't play against often. Like, if
Yeah.
I play against something new and I lose to it, I'm like, bro, this shit's so stupid and goofy. But I've been having better success. I actually had a game like a couple hours ago against a coastal guy, and I lost to the fucking obese. I was like, yeah, okay. But yeah, it's just new shit. It's not like anything critical. It's like that's the first time I played against some sort of gremlin strategy. It's so dumb. I hate it so much.
It is. It's definitely a very low APM strategy.
We'll go with that to save the men's feelings.
Yeah. Is this all? Are these all the same game? Yeah, it looks like they are.
Yeah, I was mid. No idea what I was doing. Let me see if I have them. The MG one where he was just opening 5 MGs, and I just died to it because I'm fucking stupid. Do I have like any at all? I've won, but I think it's pretty short, all things considered. Yeah, let me just rip that off. Which one was it? I think it was this one.
You're under rank 200 though now, dude.
I know, I'm speed
You're making
running.
your way.
You know what?
Speed running to challenger.
I would have been challenger by now, but fucking hell, I got hit by a wave of, I don't know what you would call it, some like subhuman activities. I generally, it's interesting. It's just people plays like so weird. Like it's not necessarily meta. Well, it is because they play Terra, but they play in like such an absurdly dumb way that it works, and it really bugs me. Okay, we're doing this now. Okay. Why will you not paste? Why are you? Okay, great. Yeah, no, but we're almost there. I'm getting crutched on by Canadians, like, but I'm not complaining.
Oh my god, it's Jezelyn. That's funny.
Oh, did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's invisible for me.
It's invisible in Discord? Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, dude, this guy's like rank 3.
Yeah. I can't. I played it like I played him earlier too. I can't remember how it went.
Royal Engineers on the field and ready for your orders.
Sappers, are you gonna shift some dead weight? What's Jerry's is ours. Can we blow it up now?
Position's ours. Spark up while there's time.
Sappers,
A Dingo recon vehicle has been made ready.
you need a dingo? What's Jerry's is ours.
Jerry's
Put it in for us.
Dingo under enemy fire!
Sappers, we're ready. Awaiting instructions, sir. Contact with the enemy. We're in it now. Far too close for comfort. Taking hits. Enemy infantry are getting shot. See that?
Yep, good retreat.
An infantry section of Tommies has been trained.
Scout car, here!
Good as new.
Report up support! Ah, Corporal's fucked!
This is not a winning engagement for us.
It is not.
Supply lines broken. We have
I guess I was like really
sectors isolated
persistent.
out there.
Also, like this is like an all too common occurrence where he's just three. It's just three there, and it just feels so annoying to fight.
Yeah.
So like you kind of like feels like you have to blob to fight it, but fuck, I hate it.
Yeah, anyone playing Gren Heavy early on, I mean the really the only way to effectively use them is to blob them.
So you just have to blob.
You're doing the
yourself.
right thing here. Uh-oh.
Back up. Not even close.
Oh man, not even close. Sapper gets away.
A group of ruffians have reported for orders. They say they're Canadian.
Listen up!
He's going officer quarters. Okay.
Awaiting orders.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Field dressing. Pass them out. 2 command posts.
That's enough!
He's got breakthrough.
Pay attention!
Yeah, he
Big man
uses
on way
the
down. Captured!
the thing, and I
We have territories exposed
instantly know
out
he
there.
does.
Lines been cut.
Oh, contact with the bloody enemy!
Repairs finished.
As soon as I see the Pioneer top left with the little flag, I'm like, okay, great.
The beggars are threatening a
I
munition
didn't realise I got cut off though until like, oh wow.
Enemy infantry! Big fire!
He doesn't fall for it, unfortunately, either.
Taking fire from down there! Even you can
Cheeky.
trust them, Doc. Presence accounted for, sir. Ziggy's out! It's captured!
Okay, that's nice. You're connected via the VP.
Shit! Enemy fire!
Oh no.
Dingo Light Recon. We've lost them.
Yeah, I'm having a bad time trying to keep the blade thing alive at the minute.
Will it be, sir?
It just feels so clunky too, like, I don't know what it is, but it feels like so annoying to path sometimes.
Supplies
It
aren't
gets stuck
making
on
it back
fucking
to HQ.
barrels and shit.
Lines cut.
This ain't Queensbury rolls! Fucking kill him! It's enough! Oh, every time! Every shitting time!
Burn the Bosch from their holes. Incendiary rollout underway.
That means you!
We're under fire. Why cover you, dogs?
Humber armored car fueled up. The enemy is trying to take a point from us. Infantry section trained and ready. We're losing a victory point to enemy
Okay.
action.
Yeah, MG in a building we're not going to do much against, but we do want to get this off of our fuel. So I think in this case you've already burned your smoke, so there isn't a ton more value here that your Humber can provide. Finding a new target that's isolated and on one of the outlier areas is your best bet for getting more value out of your Humber. You're doing the right thing with your sapper. Whether or not you'll get past this MG, I'm not sure. Let's see.
We're all tore up.
Oh, he's got too many grunts here anyway.
Keep your head down already.
A sector
Yeah, I
is
was
in enemy
the
control.
fucking sappers.
Victory point under enemy control.
Light them up.
Jerry's picking us apart!
Rifle grenades and anti-tank grenades are now available.
Here they come! Bridges kidnapped!
Oh, he retreated. What a nice guy.
Our opponent is in control of all victory points.
What's the top back?
Presence
Yeah.
accounted for, sir.
So you know, like when they're playing like way building heavy, this is before like you get your Humber and shit. You just want to take into grenades if you like floating a lot of munitions, just like deal with it faster, or do you like just want to prioritize getting that faster Humber?
Humber is usually first priority, and then heals, and then grenades. For me.
Okay.
That's a pain in the ass. We need our Humber smoke to save us here.
They've cut us off. Territory is out of supply.
Bollocks! In down. What Jerry's is ours? Can we blow it up now?
Stoss Colin? Yeah. Nice. Yes.
That
Okay.
fucking tapping. Just
That's alright. We wouldn't have been able to pursue anyway.
Yeah.
Contact with the enemy.
This is good. Okay. So here you wanna poke this off. You wanna get this off the map because as long as this guy's on the map, he's going to be able to merge into it with his Grens, and it's just going to cause you all kinds of problems. This is one of the rare situations that he's not going to have these guys holding hands. So you want to take this opening to get in his face with the Humber and force these guys off. Best case scenario, this actually also creates an opening for you to get on top of the Stummel from behind. All the while, you know, he's going to start chasing you with his Grens, which means it's going to take the pressure off your troops, which can get in his face and deal damage to him, right?
Yeah.
By playing back here, we're giving him a bunch of space. He like gets into a cover position. His Stummel's well protected now.
Enemy has claimed a sector.
We need to get our Humber to the outside of all this so that we can be more threatening with it. Ooh.
Jerry's not giving up without a fight. We're down to 300 points.
Oh, uh-oh. Ah!
Dead.
Disaster.
Our Humber armored car is
Here's
gone.
what I say. And that's another thing that's like really bugging me at the minute too. Is you lose one unit, and it can snowball so immeasurably hard.
Yeah.
Especially with the Humber. I think like
Yeah.
that's like one of the biggest problems playing as Brits if you're doing the Humber, just going Humber.
Yeah. You can sometimes claw back, but I will say, like, based on your build, it is harder to do that. I'm going to keep experimenting with, like, section into Dingo, because I feel like part of the weakness of that build, like you said, is it puts so much pressure on the vehicles that if you lose them, you're already, like, pretty significantly outnumbered in terms of line units by that point, because usually you only have the second section out. But if you go section instead of the second sapper right away, then you could basically match your opponent's infantry force and have the extra pressure from the Dingo. But yeah, it was basically like there.
Yeah, I just feel like that's. Yeah, I haven't obviously like played with section
Mhm.
Dingo. I just feel like the double sapper feels like better on. Well, I'd say better in some maps, but I feel like when you're on like a map that's like that, I feel like yeah, I feel like the section scale is a lot better, a lot
Mhm.
faster.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sappers like the sappers like you can't do fuck all with it. It's on repair duty half the time.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of the thing. Like it's harder to find the openings with the sappers later on. And if you can manage to get by with the one sapper for a while and I don't know, skip out on flamer or what have you, usually like you're going to need the sweeper. So usually that means you have to compensate and like not go for flamer. But I've also been finding, like we talked about with offensive resupply, if you're getting nades, then that kind of like fills the role of the flamer because you get those free grenades that are incendiary as well. So you can kind of get the same sort of usefulness out of that. And yeah, like you said, it's just going to help you scale better into the late game with the combat power. And you're going to have a lot more of your bases covered because you're not basically leaning on your Dingo to do the heavy lifting, and you're down a line unit relative to your opponent because of that.
Yeah,
It does make for a
100%.
bit of a slower start, though. That's the only thing. Because you don't have the second sapper out right away, so you have to start a little bit slower, which is usually going to mean you can't really play wide very well. Or if you do, you just have to be very conservative and very careful at the beginning of the match because you can get outnumbered in places if your opponent commits a lot of their units. So you just have to be a little bit more conservative until you kind of get everything going.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, especially because like the time that you have like your sapper, your dingo, and your section, you're fighting. I don't know, maybe double pioneer, double grand, and that's when it starts to get dicey.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because they can be like they can just one pyre two grand and kind of match you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can split like a pyre off for like capping, etc.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I don't mind that. I feel like trying to chip off, like obviously you're gonna lose some capping time, capping power, whatever, for a unit that scales harder, faster, and then you can also just like stick a Bren on it instantly too, because it'll already have vet. Um, yeah, I'll have to like experience, like try around with it a little bit. 'Cause it sounds good on paper.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would also encourage you to experiment a little bit with offensive resupply and like really think about trying to get the most out of those procs. Because I think you'll find that while the in combat heals are definitely solid in a lot of circumstances, when you're playing against really team weapon heavy compositions, having the extra firepower from rifle grenades, from the free recce barrage constantly is just going to get.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. It's just like, yeah, because it's the healing combat. It's like really drawing. It's like you heal and you fight, and you're healing even if you're taking a bad engagement, which can turn it into at least like a stalemate or as much now. I've been like playing Aussies mostly because there's a lot more DAC I've been playing against, so I'm just defaulting to Aussies instead of Canadian. £2 is obviously great, and the Canadian Piet doesn't fucking get a chance to be used half the time, so.
Yeah. Aussies are, I think they're probably the most, like the strongest 1v1 battle group for UKF right now.
Yeah. No, I could agree. I just haven't played enough with it to, like, agree with you to that extent, but, you know, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Aussies themselves too, like very good early combat power. And Tightrope actually discovered recently that they have 75% moving accuracy, unlike regular sections, which only have 50%. So they're much better on the move than regular sections. And that also applies to their scoped rifles, which is kind of nuts. But yeah, they're just crazy. Much better as an aggressive unit. Yeah, and they have the snipe ability. Like, they're just crazy. They're absolutely nuts. Those units.
Yeah. With the sniper ability being able to, like, you know, because when you target the model or like the unit, it targets the model. But that kind of feels like that can feel like a bit of a trap because you don't know which model's weak. So you could just like miss the opportunity of man down in like a PG without even knowing it.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I don't have another replay.
Okay. Well, we can just, I mean, we could call it there for now. We'll just do like, we'll call that just one. Because that was about an hour and a half. And then we can pick it up when you have some more replays that you want to go through.
Sounds good.
Maybe this week.
Yeah, I mean, I've stopped playing Tempest Rising because it's full of sweats now, so I'll be back here to play a bunch.
Yeah. Is it any good?
Depends. Have you played Command and Conquer?
No.
Like
not really, no.
Okay. It's definitely different. I can't recommend it to you if you haven't played CNC. I'd say just, you know, watch some like content on it. If it's like your kind of game, 100% go for it. But it's missing a lot of core features at the minute. Replays, 2v2s, ranked. It's in full release, but it's not. It was released early, so a lot of like the core features aren't coming until the 24th. But yeah, check it out if you want to. I find it fun because my background playing RTS games since I was like 7. Especially like a lot of Command and Conquer, a lot of Tib Sun. That's like my kind of game. But fuck, it's sweatier than this game. So there's a lot more to keep up with. But there's a lot of like transferable